Hi everyone, Dead Battery here, and thank you for joining me on my channel. So first off, I'd like to say thank you to so many new subscribers. We have passed the 1,000 mark. I never thought I would see that, but I'm really excited to have so many new people on my channel. I hope you continue to follow me with my other videos since some of them are not going to be PS5 related. I am taking a look at everybody's comments and I am actively working on getting this PS5 to work. So today's video is going to be on a really gross 2DS I found in the junk section for I think 7,700 yen. It wasn't released in the United States, it was just released in Japan. It's a smoky black edition. The 2DS was released in North America in 2013 and it had all the same hardware as a 3DS, but it lacked that clamshell shape. It also was lacking part of the 3DS that lets you actually see the games in 3D. The 2DS was sold in conjunction with the 3DS, but the idea behind it was to market it towards younger children because they were specifically told not to use the 3D effects because it could have potential eye health concerns. So let's see what this disgusting 2DS looks like and let's clean it up. And I apologize, it is really gross. This is what it looked like when I got it. I did put gloves on. It doesn't look bad from a distance, however close up, there is so much finger jam or whatever you want to call it caught up in it. So the first step is to take the battery out. It's just these two screws in the back and then the battery just pops out. It doesn't feel like it's too puffy, but it does have a little bit of puff to it. After you remove the battery, there are 10 other screws that you need to remove on the back. And do not just rip the back off because there is a connection for the camera in the back. So take it off gently and remove the ribbon before you can completely remove the back plate. There is a lot of hair inside of here as well. I'm assuming the person had long hair or had a cat or a dog. You can take the side pieces off. They'll generally fall off if you're trying to work on it. And there is definitely more dead skin or gunk or whatever caught on the sides. The top two buttons also come out. Just make sure you pay attention to the springs. Next is taking off all the screws that are on the motherboard. There are quite a few. So pay attention. Just when you think that you've gotten them all, there's always one or two more. After you get the screws off, you can remove all of the ribbons. There are 6 ribbons that you will have to remove to get the motherboard off. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this buildup inside. I am having a lot of trouble with this. I'm not gonna lie. I had to step away at least 1 or 2 times because I kept feeling like my hands were dirty even though I'm wearing gloves. Another issue that was wrong with the 2DS was the thumbstick was missing the rubber top to it. Luckily, I keep some of those on supply. So to take this off, you just remove the screws, you pop it out, and then it's easier to remove this bottom ring underneath. It does have a little bit of a cut in it, and then you kind of push it out sideways and it'll pop out easily. Since I am going to completely clean this, I'm going to take the screen off, just kind of give it a little bit of pressure and pop it out. I'm trying to remove some of the dead skin right now, but it's pretty gross. Now I can remove all the buttons and all of the pieces on the inside. I am planning on giving everything a good bath. Since I am going to clean the back as well, You just remove these 2 screws to remove the back camera. The spot that holds the stylus in also has 2 screws, and to get it out, you just kind of slide it a little bit and it should fall out. The last step, there are 2 more screws that hold the SD door in place. And it's just a plastic piece that holds the door down, and the door does just sit in there, so it's pretty easy to take apart as well as put back together. This is what the inside looks like. I definitely was not happy to look at this. I was really grossed out. I did have to walk away a little bit. This is normally how I clean everything. I just throw all the plastic pieces in a bucket. I will use alcohol a lot of times, but if the system is really dirty and it's just plastic parts, I'll do a bucket with soap and water. This part, I didn't want to take the front digitizer off or risk anything, so I am just soaking it in 100 proof isopropyl alcohol. I mean, technically it's 99.9%, but... And I'm just kind of pushing all of the grossness out of everything. I am trying really hard not to think about it. I don't know why these gross me out so much. I know I'm wearing gloves, but it's pretty bad. The edges even have a lot of gunk, so I'm just kind of cleaning the edges up. This is what the end looks like. There's a lot of stuff on this. I'm definitely putting that in the wash. So after giving it a little more scrub, I think it came out really well, and there's no more finger jam caught up on the inside. Since I did remove the screen, I'm just using some air to get any possible dust off. Since it is a screen going against something plastic, you don't want to get any debris caught in between, so just be careful. This little horse-shaped piece is a clear plastic piece. There are 3 of them. Pay attention to where they go. This one goes right in this little crevice. There's one piece here, there's the horse shape there, and there's the U shape. To get a new thumbstick in place, it's easier to put that plastic piece I had to remove first, and you kind of put it in sideways and twist it, and it should pop back into the area. When you start putting all the buttons back into place, just know they do have their own notches, so you will not put a button in place wrong. Now I can put the camera on the back piece. To get the motherboard on, you just have to line up the speaker and slide it into the top plastic bracket. And I did put the wrong screws in one of these pieces. I'll show you shortly what happened. I got them mixed up. I did leave for a day and come back to it because I was waiting for parts to dry, and I didn't mark the screws. Be careful when you're working with plastic and screws because you can puncture through the wall. I did slightly puncture, so just be careful. Before you can put the motherboard completely down, make sure you pull all your ribbons through. Now I'm going to put the top buttons back into place. It is a little tricky with the spring. You kind of have to angle the spring down and then line everything up, and they will sit down where they need to go. Now I can finish putting all the screws back in place. They are marked. You'll be able to see where all the screws go because they will have little copper circles around them. Once all the screws are in place, you can reattach the ribbon for the thumbstick. And to pop it back on to itself, you just have to line it up and give it a little bit of a squeeze, and it should pop in. And then don't forget the 2 screws that hold it completely down. Now you can attach all the ribbons. Make sure you get all the ribbons. I say that ironically right now. The side pieces do just kind of lay down on each side. Just make sure you line up the volume button. It fits in a little track. If you don't, you won't have control of your volume. Now you can attach the ribbon for the back camera. And once that's done, you'll be able to close it up. I do have to see if I have a spare battery, and while I was looking for one, Hal decided to come and inspect it to make sure it was clean. And the battery is dead, so I am gonna have to charge it. And it doesn't look like it's powering on right now. So I thought maybe I was gonna have to give it more time. As we all know, I am not perfect. I have a lot of mess ups on this channel, but that's good. It's all an opportunity to show you things and to grow from my mistakes. The battery didn't charge. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Every time I hit the button, it just turned back off. I had a donor board as well as another 2DS that I was going to be working on, and I stole the battery out of that one, tried it, it didn't work. I put the battery back in the other one, it worked. I could not figure what was going on. I came back to it the next day to take it apart and figure out what happened to it, and I forgot to attach one of the ribbons, which means that it wasn't going to work. Like I said, if something doesn't work, maybe go through and check your work. I definitely didn't think that a ribbon would cause this much problem, but it did. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really did want to show that sometimes going through the junk section of areas, you can find some awesome treasures. Even if it's not working at first, give it a go. If you have any questions about anything, or if you have suggestions for things you'd like to see me take apart, please let me know. I've got a couple videos in the works right now. I'm working on a Nintendo Switch, as well as a very limited edition Sega Saturn that I found. Once again, I want to thank everybody for the support you've given me. I am so excited to continue this awesome journey and to see what other awesome things I can fix. As always, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe and share with your friends, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye!